Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of On the Rage podcast with Hogg Tactical and Kelley Defense. I am Mark Kelley, and joined as always with my co-host and friend, author Rick Hogg. How's it going, buddy?
Going quite well there, fellow author. Hey, got to start the show with the big shout out to Eagles and Angels, Tom. Appreciate it, brother. Sporting my new hat, man.
Yep, Rick's got his hat on, the Hogg hat. Yeah,
that's it, man. He did a great job with that. Desert Night Parker. So hats off. There might be some, depending on when you listen to the show. They may or may not be available. I don't know. Make sure you guys go check out Eagles and Angels. Good stuff that he's doing. And then, of course, 20% of that went to the In Honor of Duco project. So appreciate that, Tom. Big shout out to you. Thanks, pal. To you, the viewer, listener, thank you for giving us your most precious commodity, your time to tune in. We couldn't do it without you. Do us a huge favor. Take that 5 extra seconds. I got it. If you're driving, wait till you find that safe spot, but hit that subscribe button. Leave us a rating review. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell a stranger in the supermarket. Just get the word out there as far as On the Range podcast goes. And since you're out there just tootling around the interwebs, be careful. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But make sure you guys swing by warhog.com, kelleydefense.com. Check out our pages. Make sure you guys sign up for the newsletters. And here's something super exciting, man. We both, since we're part of the whole Amazon author thing, we've also got Amazon storefronts. So make sure you guys swing by that. Check that out. That's a continual love of labor, trying to put our favorite products in there. So just kind of easy one-stop shop for you guys. Speaking of one-stop shops, while you're on warhog.com and kelleydefense.com, check out our industry partners, man. Save you a boatload of cash, or as Mike, or as like Mark likes to say, only suckers pay retail. So whether it's, Aim Point, Brute Force, Kill Cliff, we've got a new code for Oakley. I just remembered, so I'm not going to give the cat out on that one. So a bunch of great industry partners there. And then, as always, you got to go to patreon.com/On the Range podcast, support the show, become a patron. Bi-monthly Zoom call with me and Mark. I mean, it is just a great time with those guys. And then, of course, last but not least, for my housekeeping, the OTR training on demand. So new content is being populated in that. So make sure you guys go check that out. So I think that's about everything, Mark.
Yeah, man. There's a lot going on.
Dude.
Wherever you are, guys, thank you for making us part of your day. And today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Make sure you go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code OTR20. Save yourself 20% and get free worldwide shipping. We'll talk about them in a second. We already covered it a little bit, Rick. Good housekeeping there. But, the firearms training notebook on Amazon, and then we got the Amazon storefronts. We both have links to those storefronts in our website. So all you got to do is go to kelleydefense.com and warhog.com. Click those links and check out the stuff. We got a lot of cool things on there. I'm not going to let the cat on the bag on that either. Like our go-to viewing choices, our books, our listening. Just go check it out. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. But there's also a lot of good stuff, especially that range gear section. Everything that we really, use is actually we found most of it in Amazon, and it's not a bad price. Some of them we have promo codes, but some of them we don't. But regardless, this is the stuff we use. So go check out those storefronts. Yeah, go check those out. A lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, buddy.
So we're talking about the firearms training notebook, and we are marketing that, and we're talking about it a lot. But we've always had notebooks, and you said it best when you did your last episode. Go check it out, guys. The Warhog Words of Wisdom. This past episode, it just posted audibly yesterday, and it's going to be video here in the next day or two. But it's something about having this book, and if changes need to be made or improvements need to be made, we're going to do it. Don't worry about that. So you're not going to be missing out on anything. But there's something to be said about having it already there for you and just filling it out and just tracking it. And what we're going to talk about today is that mentality of your training. You need to change that mentality about your firearms training. Just going out there and trying to get a 1 second draw is not what we're talking about. There's all kinds of things, and we are obsessed with trying to master the fundamentals and the basics. And that's really what this is about. And this is going to help you do it. So we need to change that mentality. We've talked about it a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here's a prime example, Mark. I went out the other day. One of the drills I was running was how many in 10, and you're asking how many in 10. Well, what's that? Well, soon to be populated on the Vimeo site. So I'm not going to let the whole cat out of the bag. But here's the bottom line. I started just writing a number down, and then I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, dude, I have all this other tangible data that I'm not recording. I'm just looking for a number, right? So I can't go, well, was I off my number because my draw to first shot was off? Was I off my number because, what I was doing was off? And I had this aha moment, because typically you just write the number down and go, right? It's easy. And I was like, no way, dude. I was like, I've got to pull this data. And oh, by the way, what do? Annotate it right here, And now I'm sitting there going, okay, cool. So that I'd never thought about it in this way, but now that gave me something that now I can come home from my dry fire and start working on that. So it just, they all go hand in hand. And here's the thing, we've had notebooks for years, but this thing is like crack cocaine, man.
Yeah.
When you get this book, and I don't know what it is, if it's the two handsome fellows in the front, or the artwork, or what, or maybe because it's already halfway filled out, right? I was just using a regular notebook with lines,
right?
But there's something about, man, I get this. I want to get out and train. And here's the thing: we wrote the thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so if it's having that effect on us, man, what's it going to do for other people? So to me, it's super addictive, but it's addictive in a good way, because I'm sitting there going, all right, how can I get that 1% better? How can I make that little bit of improvement, and sit there, and there's so much stuff to cover. So, and it drives you, or it should. I mean, I've always had a plan prior to, right? Like, I just didn't willy-nilly walk out and go, all right, what range session am I doing today? There was always a rhyme and reason what I was doing. Same thing with my dry fire, right? But man, this thing just, for whatever reason, it just takes it up to the next level. And I'm just not saying that because I wrote it. I'm telling you, man, I wrote the book. I've messed up the book, but I've also turned around and said, oh man, I can be doing this. I can be adding that. Oh, I can do this. And I just, for me, here's the crazy part. I don't know if there's any other people out there that have written a book before in this fashion, and man, the return was more than what you thought. Please let us know, man. Drop us something in the comments. Shoot us a note. But yeah, dude, I'm super excited about it, and it's going to continue to evolve. And the whole key part is, especially with the patrons, getting that drill of the month. And again, it's got to be something, it can't be something super elaborate, super crazy. You need all this range space, because what if the guy just has a target, a bay, a indoor facility, and you can't get all kinds of craziness? So we're trying, now that we're trying to not push people's wheels, but also trying to look at, hey man, what are certain range restrictions out there? But dude, this, hopefully if you're using it right, you're already annotating what your drill is that you're looking to do, or drills. Because here's the thing, I went to the range the other day, dude, I burnt 2 pages, right? Because there was 2 specific things I was looking to work. No problem. Not a big deal. That's what it's there for. So it's not like you can only use 1 page. Heck, dude, if you got the time, work 5 pages, 10 pages. I don't care. But it's getting that data. And then, oh, by the way, when I was done, at least from, the quick range session, I could sit there and review the numbers, go, all right, here's kind of where things are sitting at. Now part 2 comes in, right? So this is when I get back home, kind of get me a cool drink of water, cool off. Now it's time to watch the tape. So now I'm sitting there watching the video. All right, what am I doing? What am I messing up? Oh man, I thought I was doing that right, but you know what? I wasn't. So if you can get those phones out there, man, get those phones running, GoPros, whatever you got, and record yourself. And you kind of did it the other day. I did it a couple days back as well, just working on the reaction time. So versus me wasting time and having to write that in the book, just like you did, out there, finger on the trigger, pro timer goes, boom, and just call the number because I'm videoing it anyway, right? Call the number out, and now I've got a log. So now when I come back, I can just annotate those numbers in there and go, all right, here's where I was at. How can I trim it a little better? And just go from there. So you would,
Right.
I mean, the pro timer doesn't lie. There's times when you sit there and go, man, that was awesome. And you go, huh, well, there you go, time. And there's other times when you sit there and go, man, that was kind of sloppy, but I pulled it off.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah.
Or you'll get a halfway decent time, and then you'll go back and look at the splits and be like, and I did it and we talked about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I got some kind of a weird little double clutch on my, seating that magazine when I don't need it. Cause I obviously heard the click, man, I could have shaved, 0.75 off just from that. And I was like, oh man, guess what I was doing all night, the rest of the night after I cooled down is I was doing dry fire of magazine changes, and I was annotating it in my notebook, and I used my pro timer just as a part-time. So we want people to start thinking about, we've always said, have a plan. So now we've kind of beat that dead horse a little bit. Now we're like, hey, look, don't waste that data. Don't waste this technology. Have a phone running, have your training partner, running, or they could just tell you, hey man, I'm telling you right now, you're doing a little weird thing at the end, and then just do a couple reps, pick it up, and then check your pro timer again. Yeah. It's mastering those basics and using that data to your advantage. Like you said before, man, that when I did the Warhog self eval, that was also populated on the Patreon page. My presentation from the high ready to my first shot when it broke was nice. I was really happy with that. And then this goes at magazine change, and you can do that at home. So I guarantee next time I'm going to see some kind of improvement, barring something else pops up that I notice. But I'm going to see improvement in that magazine change. It's going to happen because you worked on it.
But the beauty is, Mark, you've got, like with the Warhawk self eval, you've got 12 pieces of data. And a lot of times guys just get wrapped around two things: time and score. And that's great. But if I sit there and go, hey, my time was X, well, where do I even start to improve?
Right.
Right. That is the key part. So now I break this thing down. And again, you think about it. Shots 1 through 3. Shot 1 is, hey man, from the ready or from the draw, however you opt to do it, it doesn't matter. Right? Boom. First shot's going out. What are my splits? Maybe I'm sitting there having a second split because I was talking to a guy the other day, especially for newer, people with red dots, they look for that perfection. So maybe you're sitting there going, oh, I need it dead center, boom. And then you realize, dude, I've got a second, per split. Okay, dude, get that dot in there, break the shot. As soon as the dot touches, boom, break the shot.
Yeah. And we have a drill to give you that confidence that the Patreons we spoke about at length, but you got to join the Patreon page to get that kind of information, and your confidence is going to go up on that very topic.
But that the thing is, if you just sit there with an overall raw score, so just like the other day, when I was doing the how many in 10, dude, I started just put a number down, and I'm like, Jerky, what are you doing? And here's the crazy part. I did it twice. I'm not gonna lie, but there's if you look in the book, there's two numbers, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, dude, I wasted those 2 reps, right? And I wrote this book, and I've got my plan, but I had that momentary lapse where I cared, looking at, hey, what's my number? And I missed 2 iterations of critical data to go, okay, cool. Now, and I get it, guys. Are you going to spend a little bit more time? You are. I guarantee it will be worth your effort to take that time and write those numbers down.
Yeah. And that's a great point about the pages about writing those and missing that data. I mean, look at all these boxes. That's not a small sample size. I mean,
No.
that's a lot of reps and efficiently that you can on one page look and be like, hey man, yeah, I'm at about a 0.58 on my between shots on my splits. I'm pretty happy with that. But the right before my magazine change, it was 6s and 7s. What am I doing? Why I can ramp it up a little bit. So it's not a small sample size just in each one of those pages. And I'm like you. I kind of go through and fill every one of those boxes out in, and then if I'm happy with the amount of data I've collected, I'll go on to something else. So I get at least a couple of things that I've used in 2 different pages, and then I go back and I have my dry fire plan after that. So,
and
very
and
simple to
something
use.
Yeah, and something else I found, I mean, we've got 5 boxes across. However, there's space to the left and right. So in essence, you can almost gin up, 7 things. You could do one from the front and one in the back. So prime example, let's say you're running, let's say, because this is what I was doing for like the 5-and-1 drill, right? When I demoed the other day on Instagram. So that one there, I knew I had 5 boxes, but in essence, I'm getting 7 pieces of data, right? Because I'm getting 6 shots and then I got my overall time. So
Right.
it
You got your
was
score. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing with the 5-and-1, especially when you're running the plate rack, there's a mag change in there. And that's a critical piece of data I need to get. There's a draw to first shot, critical piece of data, and then it's like, okay, how far am I? All these things are going to drive the train. But I say all that because, again, it's just not, if you just write the time, in my opinion, you're greatly missing the whole thing. So 7 boxes gives you, especially for a plate rack, hey, start in the front, that one that's outside the box as you draw the first shot. And then when you sit there and get to the end, hey, here's my overall time. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. We're going to stop for a second and talk about Manscaped. We told you earlier that manscaped.com is giving support to the On the Range podcast universe. Now, we got to welcome in fresh ball fall, Rick. It's just that time.
hey.
It's the season of pumpkin spice and making sure that your crotch looks nice. It's kind of like a little, the night before Christmas kind of thing. I like it. That means sipping cider in the fall breeze and using Manscaped products to trim your balls with ease. I love how they're doing it. It's almost like a Dr. Seuss deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So today's show is brought to you by Manscaped. It's a company to make sure that your foliage isn't the only thing shedding its excess leaves. So make sure that you join 6 million others, men worldwide, just like you, and go to manscaped.com for 20% off and free worldwide shipping by using the promo code OTR20. Their premier package is the Performance Package 4.0. They sent us a couple of those. Man, it comes with everything you need. It's got the crop reviver and all that stuff. And it's just good. It's good stuff. The engineering, it's got a good hand feel. It's waterproof. It's rechargeable, so you're not tied to getting batteries all the time. And you just throw it in the bag called the shed. So you put your tools in the shed. It's great marketing, a great product, waterproof, and it reduces the chance of grooming accidents and cuts. But they're a big supporter of On the Range podcast. We really appreciate having them on. So make sure you go to manscaped.com, use the promo code. Take advantage of it, guys. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
OTR 20.
Yeah. And don't forget, man, it's got that LED light on there, so you don't have. Don't have I won't say a bald spot. I guess a excess spot.
Yeah, an unkempt spot. Yeah. If your power goes out, you can still use this stuff.
Hey, that's it, man.
Still use this stuff in the shower. Yeah, man.
There you go.
So, yeah, big fan of the Manscaped. So, we face this all the time on the range. The whiz bang stuff. Hey, we need more of this. I was really hoping for more movement. Bro, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. 99% of the time, let's say 90% of the time, 90% of the time, this is what we are doing every time we go out to the range. And it's just one of those things, experts, I'm never going to call my expert at anything. All I'm saying is the best that do this, the best in the biz, spend their time mastering the basics. They don't do all the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to get that across. This is a fun, easy, effective way of doing it, is marking the stuff down in the firearms training notebook. It's the bottom line.
Yeah. And I mean, I got to hit this point again, Mark. I don't know what it is about that book, but dude, it's addictive. It is addictive. There's something about
it works.
That book in your hand. And I say this, guys, and I'm not blowing smoke. Yeah, we wrote the thing, but dude, you sit there and go, I want to pick it up. I got to fill it out. What's my plan? What am I doing? Where am I going?
Yeah.
What's my deficiencies? Right. So this is a thing, a lot of guys struggle with this is nobody wants to say, hey, I suck at X. Okay. How about just change your verbiage, right? Hey man, I need to work on this. It's not a big deal. Right. And the other part is you've got to set your goals up. What are you looking to do? So a lot of times, think about it. We quiz guys in the range. And again, it's trying to stimulate the conversation. Hey man, well, what's your draw to first shot at 7? Well,
Great point.
I'm around. You should know.
What is
it? Hey man.
Yeah.
This is kind of my mean that I'm at. Now I got it. Everyone, drawing from the holster, right? We can all have a drama, getting that thing out. It happens. But as a general whole, you should kind of know, hey man, this is about, barring any dramas, where I'm running at. Okay, cool. What's your mag change? What type of mag pouch you using? Especially our LEOs, man. Some of these guys, I mean, let's be an honest broker. They'll beat themselves up. They're like, dude, I'm a 3-second plus mag change dude. And I'm like, dude, you got this crazy mag pouch with snaps and, things that your department forces you to do. Okay, that's cool. But how do you trim it down? If you're, let's say, hypothetically, you're a 3-second coming out of one of them Wazoo mag pouches. Cool. How about I shoot for 2.9? Because then when I get 2.9, then I go, all right, well, let me try 2.8, or maybe I go 2.85. Yeah. However you opt to skin the cat. But just because, number one, your goals have to be written down. Because if they're not written down, then it's just a pipe dream, right? So you can sit there and go, well, I want my sub 3-second magazine change out of this crazy mag pouch. But if you just say it and never write it, well, then when it doesn't happen, you can, well, maybe it was 3.5. No, dude, let it stare you in the face, because there's nothing better than taking that goal, drawing that line through it, and putting some new info. Hey man, I got dude, I am burning down the 3-second. We're going to 2.9. Or maybe you sit there and go, hey dude, I've been working so much that now I'm at a 2.8, and 2.8's where, that's where I'm trying to shoot for,
Yeah.
But if it's not written down, it's a pipe dream,
Yeah. On the Vantage Point, we did an episode talking about goals. And one of the big keys to that was that less than 2%, I think I'm being a little bit generous, even of Americans even write down their goals. However, when they do write it down, they have an 80% chance of achieving them just by simply writing it down. It's something that triggers in your psyche that, hey, this is real. I want this, and I'm going to work at this. And like you said, once you do that once, where you cross that line, done, check that box, you want to do the next one. Then you want to do the next one. You start tasting that success from all your hard work. Now the emotion gets into it. Man, okay, yeah, I can do this. And then it just keeps on going, on going.
And the thing that guys need to realize, right? Be realistic with your goals. Don't sit there. To me, going back to my LEOs, right? I don't know. Is 3 seconds, is that a tangible goal with the equipment you have? I don't know, right?
It might not. It might be more like a 3.5. I mean, I don't know. It could
maybe. It could be, but I'm spitballing because, if you sit there and go, well, I want, a sub 2-second magazine change, but your kit's not going to support it. To me, that's self-defeating, right? That's not, will I ever get there? I got to snap the pouch. I got to do this. Yeah. May or may not. So why not set something that's more obtainable and go, dude, all right, let's shoot for 3.25. And then when I knock that out, boom, now I got success. Now I go, all right, cool. What's my next trim down point? So, absolutely huge, man. And
Yeah, look how valuable those initial pars that you come up with yourself, that, where am I at right now? You may not like it, or you may be okay with it. Look how valuable that is. That was a great point. Start playing around with those par times in your pro timer, or however you're measuring yourself, and jump around till you find an area where, this is probably where I'm at right now. Because on the patron Zoom call, they were talking about some splits. Okay, so what is your draw to, and then he kind of, no, what is it? And he said, okay, it's some 3.25 or something, something that he didn't want to say, but now it's real. Now that's somewhere to start. It's just like a goal. If you don't know where you're going or where your starting point is, it's going to be a heck of a lot harder. So just knock it out and find out what it is.
That's it, man.
Be honest with yourself. Yeah.
And it goes right back, think about from the lifting side. All right. Hey, man, I never do legs. I got little bird legs, right? Not me. I got big old hand hogs. But just talking in general, right? So there's a lot of people who don't like to do legs. All right. Well, maybe your leg power isn't there. So to sit there and go, hey, man, I'm going to do a 2 1/4 squat, and you're sitting there struggling with just the bar. To me, it's like, get something tangible where you can grab that goal. So, I mean, it goes on with anything. Like, you can sit there, Warhog Tactical. Hey, man, we're going to be a multi-million-dollar business. Yeah, down the road. But how about we get a tangible? How about I just get a Benjamin in my pocket? Oh, dude, we got our first Benjamin, right? All right, cool. Let's work up to 10 Benjamins. Roger that. So have something obtainable. It's great to have. Trust me, you can have in the back of your mind, and you can sit there and I'm a big fan of, hey, man, where am I going to be at this year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? All about it, right? Yeah. But if you're not putting pen to paper, just don't even. I mean, I hate to sound like that guy, but I wouldn't even. Yeah, just go.
Do yourself a favor. Start writing some stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Just start doing it.
Yeah.
And you know what? We have some stuff in the works for that side of the house too. So yeah, you haven't seen the last stuff. We're still trying to get this out there so people at least know what it is, and let them know that it's available for them to help them. And we really want to change how, folks in law enforcement, military guys, how they train, their attitudes and here's what's out there.
Yeah. And here's the thing. And I'm glad you brought that up, Mark. So for my military law enforcement guys, right?
Yeah.
I would sit there, have a conversation, with your sergeant, lieutenant, captain, chief, however your hierarchy of your department is. And I would honestly look at getting this for all your officers. And if it were me, I would introduce the firearms training notebook at the academy. Inject right from the get-go, because nothing against our LEOs, man, but they're just not getting good information, right? Like, they're not getting pushed. Hey, man, do your dry fire training. Hey, it's about qualing, but everything in between doesn't seem to matter. Just like minutia. No way, dude. No way. Hold yourself to a higher accountability. And then you think about it. Hey, man, call the boys in for roll call. Tell them, hey, bring your firearms training notebooks in, and just thumb through it and be like, Snuffy, you got nothing. But then you'll have a dude that's like, hey, man, I need to get my second copy because I burned through that thing. Mm-hmm. Dude, reward him. And
give him another one.
Give him another one, but dude,
praise him. Yeah.
Give him the freaking Chiefs parking spot for the week. I don't know. There's things you can do to motivate your people, right? And really, where you go and shifting slightly into the leadership side, but there are so much things you can do from the leader side that you do that quick spot check. And think about it. Old Sergeant Patch, he'd sit there and go, hey, who's the best dude? You never knew what was coming, right? Who's the best dude at that first formation, he's like, beat it. You got the day off. Now I got it. Your department may have that flexibility. You may not. But you never knew when it was coming. And you're always on your toes to be spot on. And here's the thing. Here's the part that kills me. It's a life-saving skill. Being able to use your firearm. What a novel concept. I would probably, if it were me, go, hey, buddy, you been training? I'm in the house drinking beer. I don't want you showing up, when I need some assistance, right? I mean, I want the dude that's putting the time in. And again, if you do nothing else, 5 minutes a day, just 3 days a week to start. And then as you start working into your routine, then start going, 4 days, 5 days. Now you're pretty much, hey, man, you're on your blaster every single day because you're wanting to get better.
Yep.
And that's how you do it. So,
yeah. Oh, great show. Great topic. I don't think we're beating down the house too much because we've been talking about this the whole time. But the firearms training notebook, it's available at on Amazon. You can go to their websites, go to warhog.com, go to kelleydefense.com. Make sure you check out the Patreon group. We have links to that on our website. Go ahead and sign up. You see a lot of the teasers on social media about the training we do. It's starting to populate now because it goes hand in hand with the QR codes and all the stuff that we did in the book. And speaking of the OTR training on demand, we have links to that as well. You could just purchase and download it and keep it forever. A training video that you liked that was very beneficial. And a lot of the stuff we do is based on what the patrons want, whatever they're looking for. We take that into account. But make sure you check all that stuff out. And again, a big thanks to the folks over at Manscaped for sponsoring the show. Use that OTR 20. Save yourself 20%. Don't be a sucker. Pay retail. OTR 20. 20% off and free worldwide shipping. But yeah, man, good show. And I know Rick's got some stuff. That's pretty much all of our housekeeping. But Rick's got some stuff coming up this weekend. And then he's got some stuff I know you talked about. I didn't know if that class is full or not down in North Carolina.
A couple spots still open.
Okay.
September 23rd, which is a Friday. We're doing a 1-day carbine class. And then September 24th, which is a Saturday. There might be a spot or two still left in that. But here's the thing. Go to warhog.com. If they'll be up there, click on there. Hey, man, add to cart. Hey, you're in the class. If not, and I've never looked to see if it says sold out or no spot. I don't know what it says when it's full. I probably should cruise my own. I'm too busy on the editor side versus going on the, hey, what's it actually look like side? But shame on me for that one.
And then that following week, you're going to be up here at the H- Lounge. You're going to be hanging out with us. We're going to the American Tactical Canine Association. I believe their website is atk9.org.
It's either .org or .com. I'm not sure which one.
Okay, it's one of those, but go check that out. American Tactical Canine Association. If you go ahead and just Google that, we'll be able to look at that. We are going to be out in Jennings County now. If you're a canine handler, I'm sure there's a few more slots left. Go check it out. Sign up if you're in the Midwest. Also, on that Wednesday, what's that date, Rick? If there's going to be a vendor day out there, Rick and I are going to be there. You want to have a conversation with us? You want to come out and meet us? You want to, get a picture, maybe buy a book, whatever, on the 28th.
28th. Yep.
Yeah, the 28th of September out at the Muscatatuck Urban Training Center. You can come out there and check out the vendor day, but, reach out to us, DM us. We're going to be in town in Southwest Ohio. Both of us are going to be there, and just reach out to us. But, yeah, we're going to have some good stuff, a lot of good content. You guys got to join that Patreon page. Yeah. You got to join. You want to get all of our video training, that's where you really need to go. Yeah, buddy. And it is atk9.org. And here's the thing, guys. Our class is full. So that thing was like, I think JC was like the first one to roll. So, but there's still other good stuff. Dutch will be out there, bunch of great instructors. So if you guys are working a pooch wherever you're at, trust me, JC does not charge. I think it's like, don't quote me, I think it's like $550 or something. I mean, it's dirt cheap comparatively. That's your food, that's your lodging, that's your training. Great facility up there at Muscatatuck. And
just make yourself
come
better,
out,
man.
get some good training, and hang out with Rick and I in Dutch.
Yeah.
At least.
There you go. There you go.
All right, buddy. Great show. Safe travels, Rick. I'm sure we'll get some content out of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And be careful. And everybody, go ahead and you know how to close the show.
Train hard. Stay safe. See you guys out on the range.
All right, buddy.
Boom.
Good show, Rick.